Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't be surprised if one day we wake up to the news and we hear the story of how Diddy unalived himself in prison. Because where have we heard that before? In what situation, when there was a alleged predator facing heat and potentially finally gonna get some justice for the decades of injustice they got away with, and then they magically are able to, in so-called max security, whatever prisons, perish from unaliving themselves. Well, let's talk about Diddy. Let's talk about Diddy, because as I slightly mentioned in my previous video about Beyonce and Jay-Z, check it out because it's good. I was basically saying how it's interesting to me how, and this is what you guys need to understand about the industry. This is what everybody needs to understand about the entertainment industry. And this is how you know the power is with the people. The power is always with the people. Because all of a sudden, now, because us, the public, because the media platforms, whether the major ones, the mainstream ones, or also and this is what's great about modern society. There are some things that are negative about our advancements in technology, and there's some things that are super positive. One of the super positive things is that now, an average folk, a random person, you or I, can literally have your own platform that has the same amount of viewership as these massively produced mainstream organizations. So I remember, for example, at one point with some political thing, people were talking about how more people tune in to watch Tucker Carlson's YouTube channel than they do to watch like CNN by like 10 million. Like it was something ridiculous. So the point is, now, because we, the people, can have our voice that isn't just controlled only by these gatekeepers, because we now all have access. Now, because it's louder and we all know, now they actually have to change what they're doing. And this is what I want you guys to understand. It's not that people have woken up in the industry and they didn't know. It's that now the risk to the business, the entertainment business, the risk to their gaining in profit has increased significantly due to the change in the narrative according to what the average person thinks. So what we are thinking, as I always say, whoever controls what you think controls what you do. Now that we have the information that's different, we now may not necessarily want to agree with or support something to do with people like P. Diddy. That doesn't mean that this is all news and they were all just not knowing and just ignorant and like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was happening. What? There was this happening on the set and I was next door? No, I didn't see anything. I didn't see anyone. No, that's not what's going on, guys. What's going on is they've been doing it. They've been doing it. And they've just been getting away with it because we never believe it. And this is my point. I tend to think of myself as somewhat of a, the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Like when some people in life get to be like so positive and like, oh my gosh, tomorrow's going to be a better day and everybody's so good in this world and the world is such a lovely place to be in. And it's just amazing to live on planet Earth and everybody's so lovely. Yeah, that's not me. I'm the one who's going to be the one to let you know, listen, the most heinous people will be the most trusting. I often quote the scriptures of the Bible because they are exactly right. The enemy comes disguised as an angel of light. P. Diddy. I have questions about P. Diddy as far as Jessie Nelson, because again, he was somewhat of an angel of light, swooping in when she wanted to go solo, right? And allowing her to use his song. So now I'm thinking, is he got something to do with why she's not producing music right now? There's a lot of questions I have. And if she's now out of the industry and there was something or there is something and she was just basically walking into yet another deal she didn't want to be a part of, maybe that she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. These are the questions. If anybody wants me to make a further video about that particular idea, let me know, right? So, there's all these different things that you have to consider about this stuff in the industry. So now he's saying he's going to bring everyone down with him. Well, who's everyone? And I want you guys to be, at least allegedly he's saying he's going to bring down everyone with him. This is what all of them would say. Like, this is the same thing R. Kelly said, right? Think about this. Who is everyone? is everyone. Because we the people, this is what I'm saying, some of us needs to understand, so one of us has to be the bad guy, okay? I'm the bad guy. I'm the one who suspects everybody of anything and everything. It's me. I'm okay with it because you know why? Because I actually genuinely care about the people that are being affected. And those are the people that get lost. And this is why I'm so passionate about this, guys. The people that lose out when we're so busy running around believing the world is a lovely place and everybody's so amazing and so trustworthy. Yay! When we're doing that, we are helping. And when we're ignoring little bits of intuition, when we're ignoring or turning a blind eye or thinking it's a conspiracy, when people are speaking up against these people, the results of our actions, the consequences of our actions with the actions that we make with the free will that the good Lord gave us, is that these people continue to get away with it and the victims continue to suffer. And that's who I care about. Because while we're busy all having all these social action, this, that, and the other, we're fighting for Black people, we're fighting for women, we're fighting for the LGBTQ+, we're fighting for the planet, we're fighting harder for the animals, and we're fighting for the children, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2024, and exactly why I'm not a fan of the planet Earth whatsoever, and humans in general. Because we are such hypocrites with this type of stuff. We'll find it so hard to believe that people like Diddy and all these people would do what they would do. And the list goes on. Philip Schofield was another one who's been coming up now. Prince Andrew. All these people will be like, oh my gosh, there's no way. Or like the R. Kelly arguments of, do we separate the art from the artist, the art from the... I'm like, I ever since this R. Kelly thing, I can't possibly listen to any argument about, do we separate the art from the artist? Do we separate the rape from the rapist? Because do you see what I'm saying? This is my point. Like, I just don't understand this planet sometimes, guys. I really don't understand it here. Like, if anybody wants to explain to me how this makes sense. And so when we're thinking about the likes of people like P. Diddy, when we're thinking about the likes of, all those types of different things, we must also remember that, this is all the industry just reacting to us. It's us. This is the evidence that the power is with us. Because if they're doing this now, why is this happening now and not before? Because even a lot of the allegations and things that people are coming up about are things that have been happening for a long time. So do you mean to tell me that in all of these alleged isolated situations, no one ever said anything to anyone and no one ever saw, heard, or anything about anything at all of any of it? Is that what we're saying? Is that logical? Like, can I tell you guys something? As somebody who teaches the maths and sciences, I've come to the conclusion and I've realized that we in society have been taught not to think logically. We're taught to think with something other than the logic. This is a game. This is a winning strategy in life, by the way, guys. You have to learn to think with your brain, with logic, and not with your feelings and your surroundings and being swayed back and forth. This is what happens in society all the time, is you'll be thinking logically. It happens with the students I teach, and it's the same thing that happens with adults. I'll be asking the students, like, well, why did you do this method instead of this method? I'm like, which methods were you thinking of? This one and this one. The first method was the right idea, then they had the second one. Why did you do the second one? Because my friend said to do it. Then I'll say, was that logical? Is that what you think logically makes sense? No, I thought the other method makes sense. So why did you do the other one? Because my friend told you. And then I'm like, okay, try the other method and see what happens. They try the other method, get the answer right. It's like, we abandon logic because your friend said so. No, that's not how it's supposed to work. And that's exactly what adults do. Oh, I heard about the P. Diddy thing, but it's a conspiracy theory. I was told it was a conspiracy theory. Have you even looked into it for yourself? Have you even tried it for yourself? That's what I'm saying to the students. Same thing, like, I don't talk to them this way, obviously, they're kids. I talk to them in a very gentle tone, and I'm very patient with kids. I have all the patience with kids, and I've taken all the patience I have and directed it to the children and to the actual victims of these people. And I don't have time for that for the adults because everybody is already crying for enough for themselves as adults right now. I'm not going to lie. So it's the same thing, right? Do your own research. This is how these people get away with this stuff. Speak up. Don't just be quick to write something off because it's not the popular narrative, because the popular narrative is what they need to control us in the first place. That's what people don't understand. And that's what I'm trying to get through to you guys. That is what I'm trying to get through, that the power of our minds, and now I sound like L. Ron Hubbard, the power of our minds and what we think is so important in order for these people to get away with the stuff that they're doing. Because again, we're the one buying the tickets. People are saying that it was hard for Diddy. I think Diddy didn't even get to the Grammys in the end. I can't even remember, even though just looking at it just now. Saying that Diddy didn't even, it was hard for him to sit next to anybody at the Grammys anyway, because I think it didn't go in the end, because everybody's saying like, we can't be seen sitting next to you. Why do you think they can't be seen sitting next to you? Because what are we the people going to do? Boycott them. We're going to boycott them. We're going to be like, we're not going to so-and-so show. We saw them sitting with so-and-so. The power's with the people. The power's with the people. And this might be the truest secret that the entertainment industry doesn't want you to understand, which is that none of us are actually a slave to them. They are actually a slave to us. But what they do is they convince us that we need them, and they convince us of how we think. So rather than using our logic, like the examples that I gave you guys just now, rather than stopping and going, hold on a second, this isn't making sense. 2 + 2 doesn't equal 5. It equals 4. But instead, if your favorite influencer or your friend or your uncle or your school teacher, even for goodness sake, tells you that 2 + 2 = 5, then you're like, yep, 2 + 2 = 5 now. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we do. And I'm saying this stuff to you guys because genuinely, I care about the people that are being affected. I care about the fact that no matter all this talking, all these videos, all this talk we even do about P. Diddy, whoever else, none of that is helping the people being affected. Every day that we spend more time believing in lies, not thinking logically, right, is another day that so-and-so, whoever, wherever, who unnamed person who is just as valuable as the rest of us is having to suffer from this abuse. That's all I'm trying to say here. That is the truest secret, guys, of the entertainment industry. One of the truest, if not maybe the most important, that they want you to think that we're a slave to them and that the artists are slaves to them. The artists, yeah, are slaves to them. Us, the industry is slaves to us. We are the ones who actually run the world. It's our decisions always that lets people get away with stuff. In the same way, you guys won't believe this. I remember in school, right? This is something we did in school a couple of times, me and my school class. I don't know why we did this, but we real life did this, yeah. There would be times where we would want to do something absolutely ridiculous as a class. And what we would do is, if we all do it, no one's going to get in trouble. And that is exactly what we would do. And on multiple occasions, there was one time, literally the whole class would all tap our pencils on the table. One time, we all started chanting, "We will rock you." I kid you not. Sorry, guys. I know. I apologize. I didn't know any better. I was like 13, 14 at the time. But it taught me a lot because we realized that, wait a second, when we as a unit all do this thing together, no matter how powerful you are, call all of our parents, call the head teacher, call everyone, because you're not going to put all of us in trouble because we, the people, outnumber you. And that's how that lesson really clicked for me as well. Because I was like, there's no way that this has happened and we've gotten away with it. You see what I'm saying? There's no way that this has happened and we've gotten away with it. And so this is what I'm trying to say to you guys. Like, we have to realize as people, the power that we have. Stop feeling defenseless. Stop feeling like your one vote, your one step, your one thought, your one action, your one thing that you do doesn't matter. Everything you do matters. Even if you just randomly talk about some of this stuff to the people you know, it helps. It helps because it spreads, because people find out about stuff that they never knew. And this happens to me all the time when I'm just talking to people randomly and they'll be like, oh, no. And we'll start talking about someone. They'll be like, oh, yeah, I kind of heard about such and such. What actually happened with that? And then the fact that I've actually researched it and I can actually be like, look, this is where the facts are and this, it's helpful. And it helps the people, because if we really say that we care, this is why I have big issues with this planet. This is why I'm not a fan of the human race, because I feel like we spend so much time acting as adults of today, like we care so much about the children and about vulnerable people. But in reality, we're not actually acting out a lot of that. There's a lot of like the crying emotional element, but there's not a lot of the action, the doing. Do you know what I'm saying? And I believe it's my favorite Bible verse, 1 John 3:18. Little children, let us not love just in word, but in deed and in truth. I'm done. That's all I got to say for this one. If life's a game, let's play to win. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you want to stick around for some more videos. I'm going to be talking about the Super Bowl next. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And of course, like the video. God bless every single one of you guys watching this. And I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.